Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to unpack a massive, industry-defining shift happening right now in the AI space. We are seeing a rapid evolution away from just building raw foundation models and a massive pivot straight into specialized vertical applications. So if you've been wondering where all this incredible tech is actually heading next, you're absolutely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a frankly staggering number, 500 plus. According to industry trackers like LLM Stats, there are currently over 500 different AI models available across APIs and public weights tracked on leaderboards today. I mean, we are absolutely swimming in foundation models right now, ranging from the massive commercial releases to highly capable open source weights.
And you know what happens when a market gets this crowded? Well, you get bombshell quotes like this one from OpenAI co-founder Greg Brockman. He recently stated on X that the model alone is no longer the product. Think about that. When the folks who literally commercialize large language models at scale tell you the model itself isn't the main event anymore, that is a deliberate and honestly a monumental repositioning.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the sea of AI models, why the model isn't the product, the tech behind the shift, Codex entering legal workflows, Berkeley Law restricting AI, and finally, the future of AI verticals. Starting off with Section 1, the sea of AI models. We're looking at market saturation at the frontier.
Because we have these 500-plus models all fighting it out, they're competing on the exact same benchmarks. We're talking tests like Human Eval for coding, MLU for language understanding, and GPQA for graduate-level reasoning. And because of this, differentiation is essentially vanishing. We're seeing this incredible parity between open-source models and commercial ones. So the big takeaway here, raw technical capability just isn't a unique defensible moat for any single provider anymore. The magic trick is out.
Which brings us to Section 2. The model isn't the product, focusing on OpenAI's strategic pivot.
This intense market saturation builds a completely new dynamic. OpenAI is shifting from Item 1, acting as this general-purpose API and infrastructure provider, into a totally new goal in Item 2, becoming an application builder that creates specialized first-party vertical applications. Essentially, they want to own the high-value professional domains, not just the plumbing underneath them.
And why make this shift right now? Well, it's all about the valuation. Ahead of an anticipated IPO valued at over $1 trillion, OpenAI is actively signaling that, hey, models are just table stakes now. To justify a massive valuation like that, you need a compelling story that proves you provide much more than just commoditized APIs. The real financial value, for sure, sits squarely in the application layer.
Moving to Section 3, the tech behind the shift. Let's see why models are actually becoming highly accessible table stakes.
To really grasp this, you have to realize that making these large language models universally follows three core phases: data collection, model training, and fine-tuning. Because this specific sequence is now so heavily researched and documented all over the globe, the methodology itself is incredibly well understood across the tech industry. It's an established engineering pipeline that anyone with enough compute can replicate.
And even the advanced stuff is standardizing. Take Mixture of Experts, or MOE. Instead of firing up an entire massive network for every single question, this architecture dynamically activates only the relevant submodels, or experts, to process input data. It vastly improves efficiency. But even this advanced technique is becoming standard practice. Open source and commercial models alike are leveraging MOE, which just further levels the playing field. Ultimately, all of this training and complex architecture leads to one thing: inference. Inference is the actual process of the AI applying its learned patterns to execute tasks for the end user. And guess what? This is exactly where the application layer generates its value. End users honestly don't care about the training data. They care about the inference. They care about the actionable answer they get when they're trying to do their job.
Okay, Section 4. Codex enters legal workflows. Let's explore the first major vertical in this application shift.
So OpenAI is taking Codex, a product originally built and optimized strictly for software developers, and they're aggressively repositioning it. They are expanding it directly into domain-specific, high-value professional legal workflows. This isn't just about general text generation anymore, folks. It's about integrating deep into the daily, specialized tasks of a high-paying profession.
Now, this is a classic tech history lesson playing out right in front of us. Yes, the API remains available for now, but as the platform expands into these verticals, it naturally absorbs third-party value.
Developers who built specialized legal tools on top of OpenAI might suddenly find themselves competing directly against their own infrastructure provider. Moving forward, picking an AI model isn't just checking benchmarks, it requires some really serious long-term competitive analysis.
On to Section 5. Berkeley Law restricts AI. We need to talk about the human friction this is causing.
Injecting AI into these high-stakes professional fields is causing some very natural counter-reactions, and UC Berkeley Law School has drawn a fascinating line. Under permitted uses, they allow AI as a basic research tool, but they have strictly restricted it for higher-order cognitive tasks. We're talking about things like understanding text, reorganizing ideas, and synthesizing arguments or brainstorming. Basically all the heavy mental lifting.
And their reasoning here is incredibly interesting. This isn't some blind anti-tech crusade. It's a calculated pedagogical stance. Berkeley realizes that if lawyers offshore their deep cognitive work to an AI, their own ability to think under pressure will simply atrophy. The AI becomes a crutch, not a tool. They believe practicing lawyers absolutely need to develop vital, independent human skills rather than relying on an AI scaffold in the courtroom.
Finally, Section 6, the future of AI verticals. Here's what you need to track next.
Bringing this all together, there are a few key things we should all be keeping a close eye on. First, watch out for concrete vertical product announcements from OpenAI, like specific details on Codex for legal. Second, keep watching how benchmark coverage shifts among those 500-plus models to see who maintains parity. And crucially, pay attention to new institutional AI policies in credentialed fields, like law and medicine, as they figure out where to draw their own boundaries.
I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder. As AI platforms inevitably mature and begin to absorb third-party value in your specific industry, where will you draw the line? Where exactly does AI stop being a helpful tool and start becoming a substitute for your own cognitive skills? It's a huge question we're all going to have to answer very soon. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.